They will test you, not because they're brave, because they're weak. They'll mock you in front of others, smile in your face, and wait for your reaction. Because small men feed on reactions. It makes them feel significant for a moment, but true power doesn't react. It observes, it listens, it calculates. They want you emotional, they want you loud, because the louder you get, the less control you have. Remember this, the world doesn't respect noise, it respects presence. You don't fight disrespect, you weaponize it. You let your silence become their punishment. You let composure turn into intimidation. A Machiavellian doesn't chase revenge. He creates tension. He builds fear through unpredictability. He makes them regret ever trying. So when they disrespect you, understand. It's not about you. It's about their hunger to feel powerful in front of someone greater. Their ego is begging for attention. Don't feed it. Starve it. Stay cold. Stay measured, stay regal. Because kings don't argue with peasants, they let the crown do the talking. Comment this right now, I am untouchable, because from this moment on, you are not to be provoked, you are to be feared. The moment of disrespect is never random. It's a test, quiet, deliberate, and psychological. It's not about the insult, it's about the reaction it provokes. Most men fail that test. They get emotional, defensive, loud, and in doing so, they confirm exactly what the other person suspected, that they can be controlled. A Machiavellian mind sees disrespect differently. It's not an attack, it's intelligence. Every sneer, every interruption, every tone of voice reveals how the enemy thinks. When someone disrespects you, they're exposing their insecurity in real time. They're showing you the cracks in their armor. So the first rule, observe, don't react. Let them talk. Let them think they've succeeded. Because in their arrogance, they'll reveal everything, their motives, their fears, their weaknesses. You win not by striking first, but by letting them believe they're safe. The wise understand that revenge isn't an action, it's an atmosphere. When you remain calm in the face of disrespect, you shift the dynamic completely. Your silence becomes heavy. Your gaze becomes unnerving. You turn the room into a chessboard, and every move they make feeds your control. The man who reacts emotionally is predictable. The man who stays cold is dangerous, because no one can measure a man who shows nothing. That's where real power lives, in unreadability. Disrespect doesn't diminish you, it defines your opponent. And once you learn to see it that way, you stop playing defense forever. So when that moment comes, the smirk, the tone, the subtle jab, remember, you're not there to prove who you are. You're there to remind them. They never knew who they were talking to. Comment this right now. My silence is my revenge, because silence is not weakness. It's domination in its purest form. Emotional distance is not weakness. It's warfare. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. When you master your emotions, you master every room you walk into. Because people don't fear what they understand, they fear what they can't read. Most men hand out access to their emotions like cheap currency, smiling, reacting, explaining, defending. They let everyone touch their energy. But a Machiavellian keeps his inner world sealed shut. He gives nothing, reveals nothing, feels nothing publicly, because once they can predict you, they can control you. Your calm must feel unnatural. Your silence must make people question what you're thinking. You are not cold because you lack feeling. You're cold because you refuse to waste it. Every ounce of your emotion is reserved for purpose, not performance. When you detach emotionally, people start to bend around your stillness. They adjust their tone, their words, their attitude, because they can't tell what affects you. That uncertainty becomes your advantage. Control the perception, and you control the power dynamic. Machiavelli said, men must either be caressed or annihilated. In modern terms, keep your emotions locked away until they serve your intent. Show warmth when it's useful. Show indifference when it's power. Emotional distance is not about being heartless. It's about being unreadable, because when they can't define you, they can't diminish you. So from this moment forward, no reaction without calculation, no emotion without purpose. Be ice when they expect fire. Be silence when they crave chaos. Comment this right now. I control what controls me. Because the man who owns his emotions owns everyone else's. Silence is the purest form of dominance. It doesn't shout. It doesn't explain. It simply forces others to fill the void. And in that void, they expose themselves. The weak speak to prove themselves. The powerful stay silent to study the room. Because when you stop talking, the world starts revealing its truths. You begin to see who needs attention, who fears rejection, and who secretly competes with you, all without saying a word. Machiavelli understood that power lives in perception, and nothing shapes perception like controlled silence, a pause, a glance, an unreadable face. They create tension words could never match. Silence makes people question themselves. It breeds discomfort. It commands curiosity, and curiosity is the first stage of control. When you speak less, your words weigh more. When you act slowly, your presence feels heavier. That's how kings move. Deliberate, disciplined, dangerous. Silence turns patience into a weapon. The man who reacts loudly loses the frame. The man who watches in silence becomes the frame. Because silence is not absence, it's presence amplified. It forces others to chase your thoughts, to seek your approval, to imagine your judgment. And imagination always paints you larger than life. Use silence as strategy. In victory, it looks like mystery. In conflict, it looks like confidence. And in manipulation, it looks like power they can't measure. So stop explaining yourself. Let people wonder. Let your quietness disturb their peace. Because when silence speaks, even the proudest voices tremble. Comment this right now. My silence speaks louder than their noise. Because from this moment on, your silence is your throne. Respect and fear are not opposites. They are twins. Born from the same source, power. The difference is simple. Respect is voluntary. Fear is enforced. A Machiavellian king understands when to use each. You don't demand respect, you design it. Through your composure, through your standards, through the quiet certainty of your authority. Respect grows when people realize you don't need their approval. It's earned through distance, not desperation. But fear is the shadow of that respect. It appears when your restraint becomes unpredictable, when they realize you could destroy them, but choose not to. That's the moment they stop seeing you as equal and start seeing you as inevitable. Fear without wisdom breeds rebellion. Respect without strength breeds disobedience. Balance them, and you command loyalty wrapped in awe. That's the psychology of true leadership. Never try to be liked. It makes you safe, not strong. Let them admire your calm, but fear your silence. Let them respect your mercy, but dread your wrath. They should never know which version of you they'll meet, only that both command obedience. Machiavelli warned, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." In a world of fragile egos, your ability to inspire both will separate you from every ordinary man. So build your respect through consistency. Build your fear through control. Never raise your voice, raise your presence. Never beg to be understood. Make them study your silence. Comment this right now. I don't seek respect, I create it. Because the man who understands both respect and fear doesn't follow laws, he becomes one. Every act of disrespect is a gift, if you know how to use it. Weak men take it personally. Strategic men turn it into leverage. Because disrespect exposes the battlefield. Who envies you, who fears you, who secretly wants your downfall. A Machiavellian doesn't react to disrespect, he collects it. Each insult becomes information. Each betrayal becomes data. He studies patterns, observes motives, and builds a map of weakness. That's how you win without swinging a sword, by knowing exactly where to strike when the time comes. Never correct the one who underestimates you. Let them stay blind, because underestimation is the perfect camouflage for power. When people think you're harmless, they stop guarding their secrets. They show you their intentions, and when you finally move, it's already too late for them to defend. Disrespect also sharpens you. It reveals how easily your emotions can be manipulated. If you can stand calm while your name is dragged, your ego tested, your silence mocked, you are no longer a man reacting to the world, you are a force shaping it. Turn every slight into strategy, turn every insult into focus, turn every rejection into momentum. Because power doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in resistance. Remember this, you don't rise by silencing others, you rise by being so composed that they silence themselves. Their disrespect becomes their confession, and your patience becomes their punishment. Machiavelli would call it the art of invisible revenge, winning so quietly that they can't even name the moment they lost. Comment this right now. I turn disrespect into fuel. Because kings don't react to insults, they refine them into strategy. Power decays when you get too close. Influence dies when you become too familiar. That's why distance is not coldness. It's control. The Machiavellian moves like a shadow, visible enough to be remembered, distant enough to be feared. Psychological distance is the armor of kings. It keeps emotion from clouding judgment. It keeps others uncertain, off balance, guessing. And uncertainty is the birthplace of respect. You decide who feels your presence and when. You appear when it serves you. You vanish when it restores your mystery, because what's scarce becomes sacred. And what's always available loses its value. Most men beg for attention. You create attention by absence. Your silence should echo louder than their noise. Your distance should force them to study you like a threat they can't define. You don't cut people off. You rise beyond their reach. Let them talk, assume, speculate. The moment they think they've understood you, you change direction. Predictability kills power. Mystery multiplies it. Understand this. Closeness breeds comfort. Comfort breeds carelessness. And no one fears what they're comfortable with. So keep your circles small, your motives unreadable, your energy rare. Don't chase connection. Command curiosity. Because once people realize you don't need them, they start fighting to earn your attention. That's the essence of psychological distance. Detached but aware, silent but observing, kind but untouchable. Comment this right now. My distance commands respect. Because when you master distance, your presence becomes power and your absence becomes legend. Power is not proven by how often you strike. It's proven by how long you can wait. The weak retaliate instantly, desperate to feel strong. The powerful wait until retaliation becomes revelation, when the act itself defines their dominance. A Machiavellian never reacts out of emotion. He calculates, he studies patterns, times his move, and ensures one strike does what rage never could: end the game. Never fight battles that don't elevate you. Never correct those who crumble on their own. Your silence, your patience, your restraint, these are your weapons. Every second you wait, their guard drops lower, their confidence grows higher, until they hand you the perfect moment. That's when you move. Precise, surgical, undeniable. When you strike, make it absolute. Leave no trace of hesitation, no possibility of recovery. You're not just teaching a lesson, you're establishing law, because revenge done loudly is entertainment. Revenge done quietly is empire. Remember this, punishment doesn't always need to be visible. Sometimes your success is the execution. Sometimes removing your attention is the sentence, and sometimes your existence, calm, unbothered, superior, is enough to destroy them internally. Machiavelli wrote, "Injuries must be done all at once, so they do not have time to recover. In modern terms, strike once, strike deep, strike when they least expect it. You don't need to announce it. They'll feel it, so wait, watch, plan. Then end it so completely that no one dares test you again. Comment this right now. I strike with precision, not emotion. Because kings don't fight battles, they close them. Self-control is the currency of kings. It is the muscle you train while others whine about fate. When your emotions are contained, your life becomes a machine of intent, ruthless, efficient, inevitable. Most men mistake impulse for courage. They confuse shouting with strength, revenge with victory. A Machiavellian knows the truth. Courage is measured by restraint. Real strength is the ability to hold fire in your palm and choose the single moment to burn. Discipline is not drama, it is ritual. Wake, prepare, observe, execute, repeat. This rhythm makes you boring to your enemies and lethal to your rivals, because nothing breaks arrogance faster than relentless competence. You will be provoked, constantly. People test limits because they assume you have none. Show them you do. Not through fury, but through form, through a steadiness that reads as inevitability. Your calm should be a promise. You will not be moved for trifles. You will act only where it matters. Self-control converts chaos into leverage. When you refuse to be pulled into petty fights, you free energy for strategy. When you master appetite, anger, pride, lust, you gain access to judgments others squander. Where others panic, you plan. Where others react, you decide. Make habits your silencers. Let routine flatten temptation. Let discipline be the unseen army that secures your life so you can wage wars that matter. Power without discipline is noise. Discipline without purpose is slavery. Combine them, and you are sovereign. Remember, the world tests the disciplined until they break, then praises them like saviors after they rise. Don't break. Don't seek approval. Build methodically. Build coldly. Build until your presence alone is proof that you have mastered yourself. Comment this now. I command myself before I command the world. Because the man who rules his own impulses rules everything else. Detachment is the final stage of power. When nothing external can shake you, you stop reacting and start ruling. The world loses its grip on you the moment you stop needing it to make sense. Most men are slaves to validation, controlled by praise, broken by criticism. They call it passion, it's dependence. But the Machiavellian understands, attachment is leverage waiting to be used against you. What they can't attach you to, they can't control. Detachment is not numbness, it's clarity. You still see everything, but nothing owns your reaction. You still feel, but only on your terms. You walk through chaos untouched because you've learned the art of non-investment. The less you cling, the freer you move. Detach from people's opinions. Detach from outcomes. Detach from your need to be understood. Because explanation is the language of the powerless. Mystery is the dialect of kings. When you detach, you become dangerous. Not because you seek destruction, but because you can't be destroyed. They can insult you, ignore you, betray you, and you'll still move exactly as planned. That level of control terrifies people who live through emotion. Machiavelli would call it invulnerability through indifference, power that doesn't beg to be recognized. When you no longer chase respect or fear, both start orbiting you. You stop proving your worth and start defining it. So build distance between who you are and what they see. Let their opinions echo in empty space, because the less you care, the more they wonder, and uncertainty is the purest form of obedience. Comment this right now. Nothing owns me. Because when you master detachment, you stop reacting to the world, and the world starts reacting to you. To become untouchable is not to become perfect, it's to become unreadable. No one knows what drives you, what breaks you, or what you fear. Your emotions move in silence, your thoughts leave no trace. That is power in its purest form. Invisibility within presence. The untouchable man is not one who avoids conflict. He simply makes conflict irrelevant. He doesn't fight for validation or revenge. He lives above both. Because the moment you can be provoked, you belong to whoever provoked you. And kings don't belong to anyone. You must build yourself into a fortress, not made of stone, but of composure. Your ego, disciplined. Your emotions, mastered. Your silence, weaponized. People may attack you, slander you, misunderstand you, but they will never reach you. That's the Machiavellian way, to stand in the storm, untouched, to let the noise rage and still walk like a man who wrote the script. Because control isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself so completely that no one else can. Untouchable doesn't mean emotionless. It means your emotions serve you, never expose you. It means you choose when to burn and when to freeze. It means peace has become your form of punishment. When you reach that point, when your silence intimidates, your calm confuses, your detachment unnerves, you no longer play the game. You are the game. That is the final law of power. Control yourself, and the world bends quietly around your discipline. Comment this right now. I am untouchable. Because you've heard every law, and now you embody them. You are no longer reacting to life. You are writing it. And if you felt the power in these words, like subscribe and turn on notifications. This is Mind of Machiavelli, where power isn't spoken, it's engineered.